Mike here. I'm going to start going through the Bible, even though I'm going through it normally in the shorts. I'm going to start from the beginning, Genesis, from the Old Testament to the New, doing sermonettes or sermons, whatever you want to call them. How long they go, I don't know. It could be 5 minutes, just over 3, because it's more than short, excuse me, to whatever, an hour. Here we go. I'm going to really comment. The reason for this, because I'm going to really comment as I go. Excuse me. I think I'm going to take chapter 1. Lots of comments. That's why I'm doing this. And please like and subscribe and check my videos now, not just my shorts, but I'll be putting it in my shorts because they're most seen to check these videos, long-length video sermons from the beginning of the Bible to the end, okay? So I think I'll take chapter 1, but depending on the length and how much comment is on the chapter, I may change it halfway, you know what I mean? Like saying I'll stop at this verse and take the other half chapter later, okay? So let's start Genesis 1, verse 1. My first sermon. I mean, not really. I got other ones in this, but starting from the beginning. In the beginning, comment as I go, this is the New International Version. By the way, you don't need to buy all kinds of Bibles anymore. You can go on a search engine. You can have there's sites and they come up. You can have every translation. It's amazing, and go through every verse in the Bible. And I adjure you, ask you solemnly to do that. So you become smart and you get the gist of the context. Some translate it better than others, okay? Some translate like the Catholic Bible, whatever they want you to know what they want, or the Jehovah Bible. You know what I mean? Like Christ is a God, like indefinite article, like he's nothing. No. Read First John. The word was Christ in the Old Testament who spoke, right? The Father, you don't hear him and no one's seen him, or you can't live. There's so much light. Anyhow, I forgot what I was going to say now. I'm getting older, but I don't even remember what I said. Anyhow, verse 1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The heavens and the earth, not just the earth or one or the other. Now the earth was, here it is, formless and empty. Darkness was over the surface of the deep. And the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. I'll stop it there. Again, the Spirit of God. I'm going to say a lot here in these sermons. That's why maybe I might even have to take half of chapters. I mean, even on small chapters, excuse me. The Spirit of God, the mystery of the Godhead. There's a lot of mysteries. I can't digress, but stick with it. The mystery of the Godhead. There's the Father who was ancient of days. When he begot the Son, he became a Father. The mystery, I won't go into that. Then the Word was Jesus. You can read that in 1 John, the Gospel. By all things were created and used the Holy Spirit. Okay? Some people don't even believe here, they think they're smarter than God. It had to be 10 million years. No, God says he did it in 6 days. He did it in 6 days. Just like God told Job, tell me you're so smart, Job. And this was 1000 BC, way before they thought the earth was round or whatever. Now that we have satellites, and then go to the moon, I don't have time, the radiation will kill you, but we have satellites to hover around with still gravitational pull also. And we can see the earth, and it sits there with nothing, with no foundation, not even pilasters or pillars. It's in space. And then God said 1000 BC to Job, tell me how the earth is set on its foundations. I'll say to God, it's set there, but by your command. You command just like you did here, and things are made, and it's done. Not necessarily science. I'll leave it there. I can digress forever. So, but here's the verse that's still a lot of vagueness and ambiguity. Because Paul said, we see through a glass darkly, but then face to face when God reveals everything, okay? Now the earth, verse 2, was formless and empty, and darkness was over the surface of the deep. I'll stop it there. And then it said the Spirit of God hovered, start his power, starting to do things to fix it. So the question here is, in this verse, if in the beginning was God creates things nicely, the heavens and the earth God created, then why was it formless and empty? It's like, was he half through the job, or I don't know, maybe. But some people think or put forward that between when God created, and it does say, I think in Job, the angels rejoice. We're really the seraphim and cherubim, not a medieval. You can see I'm taking a lot of time here to explain things. That's why I'm doing sermons. Not a medieval expression of Jesus, effeminate long hair. Judas would have said, it's the guy with the long hair, the effeminate guy, and they would have grabbed him. He wouldn't need to portray him with a kiss. Portray him with a kiss, you see? Anyhow, I'm digressing again. So people say, oh, that's probably when Satan rebelled and is thrown to the earth. They have a lot more power than us, the angels, seraphim, cherubim, and probably caused all this damage. Maybe, but it doesn't say that, okay? It says that angel in Ezekiel and Isaiah that Lucifer, you get Latin luz, light, luminescent, translucent, moving light, and so forth. Lucifer, the biggest created being of light, more than any star and everything. He was so arrogant. He was the father's sin, as Jesus called it. Trying to knock God off his throne. So some people think after that is when the earth was destroyed, because he was over on the earth before man. It says in Job, the angels rejoiced when they saw the earth. He made it for them like a pre-Adamic, pre-man. And then there was the rebellion. I just said Satan is in Ezekiel and Isaiah. Itchy nose. Anyhow, my point is, some people think after that rebellion, because man, look what man makes, atomic hydrogen bomb, it was so much more powerful that they destroyed the earth. Some people say that, but it doesn't say that here. Excuse me, that's supposition, that's speculation. Don't say it dogmatically as dogma, as fact, as credo, as credita, believe, of something that's belief. That's why, especially prophecy, people go on and on, this war is from this guy, this is this president, means this is the false prophet. They don't know that. Apostle Paul said, if I know all mysteries, and not have love, forget the love part, not to make light of it, the love chapter. If I know all mysteries, all prophecy, meaning what comes to you, whether in scripture or in the future, that's basically done away with. Meaning he does it. The Apostle Paul, as Peter said, was hard to understand, meaning he was the smartest. And he needed to be because he had to go to the Gentiles. Half of the blood-related rest of the apostles wanted to keep half the Old Testament. And Apostle Paul had to set him straight on what? He was the smartest by God. Remember, he said, I walked with God or had a vision, don't know if I was there in the spirit or if it was just a complete dream. But either way, something happened here between the time God created heaven and earth. It was void, and water covered the whole thing. So who knows, okay? See, that's a lot just in the first two verses. And God said, verse 3, well, the Spirit was hovering over the deep, and God said in verse 3, let there be light, and there was light. God saw that the light was good. That was the sun. You'll see here. And he, God, separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day. And the darkness, he, God, called it night. And there was evening and there was morning, the first day. Okay? Now the second day, verse 6. And God said, let there be an expanse between the waters to separate water from water. So God made the expanse and separated the water under the expanse from the water above. That's from heaven, the first heaven. Right, the clouds, from what we see, and he's talking about clouds, and the earth. And the earth was, you'll see here, he'll bring back the waters, what was earth and what was water. Okay, so second day he separated, put waters in cloud forms in the first heaven, meaning what we see the first in our atmosphere, right? And then there's outer space, right? Exosphere, ex Latin out. I forgot how high that is. There's no gravitational pull. I won't get into the moon thing and slingshot and all. Anyhow. And then there's God's throne in heaven, wherever that is. So 3. Who knows? Okay. So God made an expanse and separated, verse 7. Again, the water under the expanse, the heaven, from the water above it. I explained that. And it was so. God called the expanse sky, the first heaven, and there was evening and there was morning the second day. Verse 9. And God said, let the water under the sky be gathered to one place. Again, that's separating the earth on the earth and the ocean. Let the water under the sky be gathered to one place, the oceans, and let the rivers, everything, lakes, and let the dry ground appear. Remember, it says in the beginning, it was covering the whole earth with water. And it was so. God called the dry ground land, and the gathered waters he called seas, oceans, the biggest bodies, the 7 main oceans. And God, or seas, God saw that it was good. Verse 11, then God said, let the land produce vegetation, seed-bearing plants and trees of the land that bear fruit with seed in it, according to their variations, kinds. And it was so. The land produced the vegetation, plants bearing seed according to their kinds, and the trees bearing fruit with seed in it, according to their kinds. And God saw that it was good. And there was an evening and there was a morning the third day. I'll stop it there that's the third day, verse 14. Now, all you evolutionists, it's a theory. Remember the steps of an experiment? Theory is the second last, conclusive if it gets there, like it's conclusive. Evolution is not conclusive. It's just a theory. Just like black holes are as a theory. But those astronomy physicians, they want to believe knowledge puffins up that they know and on and on. You know? Again, for you like that out there, as God asked Job, tell me how the earth sits on its foundations. Again, I'd say by your commandment, Lord. Maybe it's not just science, just sits there by God's command, as everything was created, again, by God's command. Okay, and to the evolutionists, to finish it, I got off the topic there. An animal came after an animal, seed after seed, an animal, a monkey, a man, meaning evolution. We didn't evolve from one other creatures. Okay, that's the theory, not a conclusion by man. Okay, I'm already at 10 minutes, so I think I'll try to keep it around 10 minutes. So I'll stop it there. Genesis, the third day, I'll stop it, which is Genesis 1 here, verses 1 to 13. Okay? Please like and subscribe. And please, if you don't mind, to put your actual, do not hide your identity on your subscription. The reason why I asked that is because with all these YouTube changes, it seems like they're subverting. They're more leftist anyways. I'll leave it there. I noticed that last 3 or 4, I have many views, 170,000 in 10 months for hardcore religious and startup is very excellent. But I only got 70. I could have up to 5-10%. So that's, what's that? 8.5 to 5% to 17,000 subscribers I ought to have. But either way, my point is, I don't want to know your identity, but I noticed that last 4 or 5 single subscribers, all of a sudden they went right away. But I noticed not the ones who showed their identity. You know what I mean, on a subscriber. So if you could do that, that way I'll keep my subscribers. I'd like to see that. It ought to, as what I've seen. Okay, need to go. Thank you. Bye.